Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is my first time ever streaming anything. Let's see. Am I muted? Let me unmute myself. Or is that just making me hear myself? Hello? Hello? Sorry about this. Okay, hold on 1 second. Oh, that is just muting myself. Okay. Sounds like I can be heard. There's no one in the chat yet. But I'm going to post something on Twitter. Real quick, folks. Or, I don't know why I'm saying folks. Should have done this all beforehand, I guess, but it's just been really busy. Do I put this in? Tweet. Oh. Can I share this on my Twitter? I should have had this shared on Twitter. There we go. Hopefully I get some people coming in soon. There's going to be a lot of not talking. I'm going to be guessing. Oh wait, wait to see if I get any viewers in. If anybody has been waiting. No, it doesn't look like there's been anybody waiting. There's just me. Welcome to Say Hi in Chat. Do. Okay, I think I understand now what to do. I need to like alrighty. That's not who we are. We are not beautiful. That's not who we are. Really should have some music playing or something, I guess. Yeah, I'm just trying it. Aw, Debbie. Debbie liked it. You know what? Screw it. Screw it. I have waited long enough. People are probably wondering why I'm not even saying anything. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and start this. If anybody comes in later, I have been very quiet because I have never live streamed before. Was figuring out what to do with the product and everything, and I see there's one other person. Yay! 2 people. And I'm sorry that it has been very quiet for me. So in case anybody does go back to watch this, still figuring things out as I go. But I'm Heather Feathersong. It's been a long time since I've been here on YouTube. A lot of things been going on with my life, like a lot of things. Hello, Dawn. You are the first official person in this live stream. Cool. Thank you for checking it out. And, pardon me stuttering. I'm still getting used to this. But if you have been a viewer before or anything like that, you know that I used to do a lot of things with YouTube and everything. So, and I kind of stopped. I stopped. But you know what? Even though there's really nobody here, I'm going to go ahead and do my reading for events that have been going on. The world is in a panic. The world, people are scared about what's going on with the coronavirus. And I thought I would seek guidance from my cards, and we would see what they had to say about the situation, about the tarot cards. Well, thank you. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do the biggest tarot reading in terms of tarot is the Celtic Cross. It is a 10-card reading. It's very in-depth, and it's just one of those that people often seek to a lot to get as much information as possible. But as a reminder, tarot is not predicting the future. It's all about guidance and, just seeking some kind of substance. So that is what I'm going to be doing, and I am using the deck called Shadowscapes. I also brought my mother's deck with me, which I was going to have both images at the ready, but it took me forever just getting Shadowscapes already and done with. But So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might look into that one too, just because it's an older deck. You know, it's been used by my mother, by me, the very first deck. But for right now, we're going to start with Shadowscapes. And all you'll see is just my human avatar there. Maybe I'll bring up the pony one if people really want to see it. And if anybody goes back to rewatch this, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I mean, I'm an introvert, so I stay at home most of the time anyway. Though now that I have to, it's kind of boring. Pardon me. All right, shuffle the cards. Excuse me. There we go. One more shuffle ought to do it. Well, I thank you. Okay, so now we have the deck, and I am currently splitting them up into threes. And let's feel which one needs to go on top. All right, deck is ready and set up. And Celtic Cross, I asked the cards, how is the world going to be in the next coming months to up to a year concerning the coronavirus? And hopefully, I do hope to people come back and watch this and maybe get some fears alleviated. And that's kind of my goal with tarot. Sometimes people seek comfort from elements that are deemed supernatural. So, we'll see. All right, the first card in the Celtic Cross that you always draw is the U card. And in my mother's deck, which is the traditional deck, you have reversed meanings, but we don't have them here in this one. And the first card for me to draw is the Eight of Wands. Okay, and we shall go ahead. Seek my handy dandy book here. Yeah, the first card is the U card, which I'm labeling as the world as it is now. And it just represents everybody. And the Eight of Wands, you're going to hear a lot of reading. It is very interesting to me. I grew up with it. My great aunt was with a circus, and my grandmother lived with her for 4 years, and that's where she learned palm reading and tarot and everything. And so that's always really kind of fun info to learn about your family. But here it is, the Eight of Wands, and this concerns we as a society right now with this pandemic. She sets her staff before her, step by step to the top of the rise. The glow globes wave lacy. Oh, I am stupid. I forgot to add the image. Let me add this image so that you can see this pretty card. I was going to do it all beforehand, but there's just way too many. Aha. There it is. You should see it pretty soon. And hopefully you do. But here is the Eight of Wands. Just kind of checking the preview, see if it shows up. Not sure if it is. there it is. Sorry, I'm just checking the thing. All right. She sets her staff before her, step by step, to the top of the rise. The glow globes wave lacy fronds on either side of the path. She remembers how a childhood friend called them wishes, and that to take one and blow myriad seeds to the wind would send that wish out. And the farther those seedlings traveled, the more power for truth and fulfillment they would gain. She bends down to pluck one. With a puff of a breath, she sends the seedlings on their way. It is the ending of the lovely flower that blooms so delicately into elaborate spheres of ethereal beauty, but the beginning of a new growth. The seeds spin away on the wild winds, at the mercy of entropy, but sailing with the purpose nature bestowed on them, with the gift of a gossamer filaments. Sail away and beyond, and then set down to grow to become a mighty tree. The Eight of Wands is the beginning of a long journey towards a goal. A great undertaking is at hand, and it speeds towards reward with hope and momentum. Okay, I think that pretty much describes what we as a society are right now. We are trying to speed toward a recovery, but also this is a big change for everyone in the world. And from what I can understand with this card, hopefully with the beginnings of this journey, we will be rewarded. Perhaps we will come together closer as a human race, or who knows. I am honestly optimistic about this for the first card, and I feel it represents as well. So next in the Celtic Cross, I always forget, I do this so much, you'd think I'd remember, is Crossing. This card, which will be placed sideways, but you're not going to really see it. Actually, you know what? I can make you see it. Yeah, shrink the card down. Do that. Be fun. This card placed sideways indicates the conflict. You know, this is the conflict we're facing. And that is Six of Swords. The swords, they can be interesting. So let me find the page for the Six of Swords, and then I will get the card up and I will read it. All right, image. Swords, okay. Browse. Here is the Six of Swords. And if anybody else pops in the middle of the live stream, I am doing a Celtic Cross reading concerning the coronavirus for how we'll come together in the next coming months and year. I'm just going to continuously repeat that just so people know. And for this one, we are on the second card, 6, Crossing, the conflict, the Six of Swords. As his eyes drift shut, he feels the gentle hands that lift him onto the downy feathered back. He feels the muscular tensing of wings, the flex of sinew and bone, and then a jolt as the swan springs into the sky. His own limbs feel malleable, sapped and drained of will. She carries him high, and he curls into a fetal embrace on her back. He is content to let her bear him away. The swan flies through the night. Her wings do not seem to tire. She does not seem to know what exhaustion is. The steady strength and the rhythmic beat of her wings and the warm, living pulse of her heartbeat beneath his own chest seem to seep through his pores and suffuse his being with a bit of her spirit. As the dawn sends tentative fingers of light in the sky, he finally cracks open his eye to see the swiftly passing landscape far below. The land seems so distant. It is hard to believe the anguish and the fears and the tribulations that such a miniature world can create. The storm crows caw raucously as they pass, but the sound falls upon his deaf ears. He turns his gaze forward as the clouds part. He can see where the swan is bearing him. He smiles and clutches tightly to her back, with new strength in his fingertips. The Six of Swords is a passage away from difficulties. It is a chance to recover after tribulations. Too much change from a bewildering world has perhaps induced despondency that you must find a way to lift out of. Jesus, that hit right on the nose. I feel right there. Because the conflict, it is pretty much representing the conflict right now. We're in a bit of a crisis. And, there's just a lot of change. A lot of people are panicking. A lot of people are buying all the goddamn toilet paper. Getting tired of them. But, and the conflict also is not necessarily just this in itself. It's also people who are not taking it seriously. One of my brothers is of these people who, oh, it's not any worse than the flu or anything like that. I don't know why they're closing these places down. People with that attitude can make it spread even worse. So, yeah, I can see what it is saying right here. And we're going to do a fun little thing. I've never really used OBS like this, so this is fun for me. No, come on. How do I make it go? I'm trying to make it... Why aren't you flipping? Dang it. Oh, wait. Transform. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. You can see me mess up. Okay, vertical. That's what I want to do. I always forget. That is not what I wanted to do. You can laugh at me all you want. I don't care no more. Here, rotate 90 degrees. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. Control. And then move it down like this. And you'll be able to see like what it actually looks like. There we go. There. Finally got it. Okay, next card is... Foundation. This card illustrates the basis or foundation of the situation. And that card is the Chariot. Okay, so a little bit of tarot info. Whenever someone from the major arcana makes an appearance, that is a very strong reading. The more major arcana we get, the more the stronger it is, because they're like the very foundations of tarot. So, the Chariot. Here is the Chariot. And luckily it's easy enough to find because it's near the beginning at number 7. Yeah, this is the very foundation of the situation. So let's see here. She is winged victory, the goddess Nike or Maeve. She comes sweeping from the skies, confident and sure of herself. She has summoned the unicorns of the sea out from the foamy depths. They serve her willingly, bowing as is ever in their nature to such purity of intent. The ocean swells themselves are tamed beneath the enchanted wheels of her chariot. The glittering waves crash and roar with the strength of the sea, but as she guides her unicorns across the glistening track, the waves fall still before her, and into a quiescent and shining mirror path. The stillness in what is an internal motion stirs awareness in the denizens of the deep. From underneath, the spirits of the ocean whisper to the sea god. In a swirl of aquatic color, they dance the surface to greet one whose willpower and mastery is so undeniable as to be capable of overcoming even the wild natural fury of the seas. And with this deck, the meanings for the major arcana are just right there. Meaning, triumph over obstacles, achieving victory, focusing intent and will, establishing an identity, self-confidence, maintaining discipline, assuming the reins of power and authority, and driving with the unwavering certainty in a cause. Control must be exercised in a constantly changing environment that can and will present challenges in the landscape of a world that is constantly shifting with people and emotions and circumstances all around. Like the tenuous border Where sea meets sky, a constant tension of push and pull of air against liquid is maintained, and to ride to victory must be able to achieve the confidence and knowledge to walk upon that fragile surface. Right there, control must be exercised. Yes, we must stay confident that we'll come out okay, and that is what our leaders are trying to push forward. We have to remain in control of ourselves, control of the situation, and we can do that by staying indoors, by planning out groceries. Again, I stress, you don't need so much toilet paper. Went to the store the other day, couldn't find no chicken. Okay, fine, whatever. But that's pretty much, again, dead on. The very foundation of the situation is keeping control of ourselves, to not panic, and to, control the environment around us in these times. So now we're going to shrink it, and it goes on top. It's a little small. There we go. Alrighty, next up is the past. This card shows influences from the past, and there is a train, that are affecting the present situation. So let us see what the past is, coming up with this present situation. Ooh. Let me show you this here card. It is the Seven of Wands. Always a pleasant card. And browse. Seven of Wands. Open. The wands are always fun. They have foxes on them. Let's see. The vixen faces off against a badger, while her kits watch from beneath the protective curl of her tail. The enemies circle and circle. They size each other up, a nip here to test the swiftness of reaction, a swipe to press the defenses. The vixen snarls and lunges forward, for she has her brood to protect, and she will not fail them. Fear for her kits burns in her heart. Her actions are necessary, not mere courage. And yet it is all the more courageous for being such a selfless act, without the tangle of thoughts and justifications. Her mere belief makes her fight 10 times more fiercely and with a fiery strength. The bamboo of the wand signifies strength and fortitude. Bamboo possesses a slender suppleness that sways in the winds and does not break. It grows tenaciously and sends out multitudinous shoots in all directions. I probably butchered that word. The better to compete for sun and space. The Seven of Wands represents taking a stand, defending what you believe in. The world is full of strife and stiff competition, and one must have courage in facing the difficulties that come. Do not buckle under a stiff wind, but sway like the bamboo. Seemingly unsurmountable odds can be overcome with faith and courage. Now, this deals with the past. I did this reading before and got the devil, but I feel it works in this situation. People are standing up for what they believe in. Doesn't necessarily means that they're standing up for good things. Like I said, my brother very much believes that this is the, and I quote, the Democrats fear-mongering. Sorry to use an accent, he's a bit of a redneck. And trying to control people. A lot of people believe, like he does, that this is being blown out of proportion, and it is that exact amount of people who are, I understand keeping your businesses open, wanting to keep your kids in school, but when things are spreading that fast, I also, for a moment, was like thinking it was being blown out of proportion until it started spreading as fast as it did. So I'm not really scared of it, though, because, I'm doing what I need to do. I'm keeping healthy, staying away. I'm more so afraid for people like my mother, who is in her 60s and does not have a very good respiratory tract. So that is pretty much, I think, what it is saying. You know, this is the past that is affecting us. People who believe strongly, but was the wrong belief to have, and they were the ones that were in control of the situation. So that is probably what led us to where we are now. So let's just move on to the next card. Immediate future. Always a fun one. Actually, let me shrink this down first. And it goes right here. This is the Celtic Cross. This card illustrates what is likely to happen next. And the card is Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Okay. Browse. She is fine. She's working from home. She works for the state. So they pretty much had made it that everybody who works for the state has to work from home. Oh wait, that's the cups. Pardon me. That is the cups. Not the pen. Gosh dang it. Three of Pentacles. Okay. There we go. There it is. There she is. I just love the artwork on these cards. They're so pretty. This is the longest deck I think I've had. All right, immediate future. Ah, this is a good card. They work together as one, creating a human ladder and climbing upon each other's shoulders. With their combined height, they reach upwards. They yearn towards the sky. Into the stone walls, she inscribes her pentacles and her circles. They form a chain of overlapping arcs, like her interlinked relationships, circled sets of inclusion and combination. It is a mathematical equation of human relationships and interactions. Each arc is inscribed with care as if they follow a blueprint. Her fingers trail the stone as easily as if the surface were malleable clay. The solid stone gives way under the soft flesh of her fingertips. Such is the power of their combined wills that what is impossible suddenly becomes very easy, mundane, achievable. They comprehend the power of unity when one works in conjunction with others. The Three of Pentacles is the embodiment of teamwork, of functioning together as a unit. It underscores competence and achieving beyond the expected. Sometimes the support of others is required to achieve a goal. Not everything can be accomplished solo. Not everything needs to be accomplished alone. Reaching out to others is no failing, but working with others requires patience, planning, and compromise to adhere to standards of cooperation. So what this is telling me for our immediate future is that in what I'm interpreting is that people are going to be coming together more and working together. And that's really the only way to beat this thing is, help your fellow neighbor. Just try to kind of compromise, and we gotta just, we gotta be smart. And I'm really hopeful that that comes forward. If things stay on the right path, we should be more open to working together. If there's one thing that is going to, if there's one thing that is going to bring humanity together, it's when all our lives are in danger. So we will see what happens, but it is a very hopeful card. And also I do hope your mother stays safe. If she can, get some hand sanitizers or something, always good to keep it on hand. To you, Mr. Don. But yes, so Three of Pentacles, teamwork, is what is said to be in our immediate future. And hopefully it stays that way. So we do this, shrink it, put it over here. All right. Let me check something real quick. Oh, we have three. No, not three. We have another person is watching. I'm hoping you're enjoying the stream. Pardon me being so, still learning. All right, 6. The 6th card is the Crown. This card represents the outcome you desire more in this situation. And that is... Ooh. I'm not even going to tell you guys who's watching this yet. I'm just going to first get the card up. You know, people always get this card wrong in terms of media. They always get it wrong. They always get the meaning of this card wrong. And that's why I really like the Shadowscapes deck, because the card Death, as this is represented by a phoenix. Another major arcana. Let's just find the Death card. It is said that the swan is mute its entire life. Upon the threshold of death, however, it sings one achingly beautiful song that steals the final breath from its chest, then expires upon that ultimate sigh. It is the most heartbreakingly wrenching song of ending. Oh, thank you. But the song of the phoenix, the song of the swan cannot compare. When the phoenix sees death beckoning, she lifts her voice in a tragic song of pain, of rending, of sorrow, that yet cannot mask the most intense joy, for she knows that as the flames lick at her heart, the heat is quickening, the egg in which her successor sleeps. Her death flame is its life spark. One is linked inextricably to the other, and thus she was tied to her predecessor, and she hers, to the beginning of time. She sits in her deathbed upon her nest, and she submits to the inevitable hand of fate. As the fire burns, searing hot and white, she spreads her wings and breathes her final song of expiration. The meaning of the Death card, and why I always get mad when they do it wrong in media: closing the door to the past and opening a new one. Going through a transition, changing status, shedding the old and excess. Bowing to inexplorable forces and sweeping changes. The old must be set aside and burned away to make way for the new. The ancient story of the phoenix is one that is echoed and repeated in dozens of cultures. She is death and rebirth and life, encapsulated in a single symbol. Irises are associated with death, as Iris was the Greek goddess of the rainbow, which she used to travel down to earth with messages from the gods to transport women's souls to the underworld. Deadly nightshade is a highly poisonous plant, symbol of deception, danger, and death. And sumac in the Victorian language of flowers says, "I shall survive the change." Thank you. I've been told that quite often, but always nice to hear people enjoy listening to my voice. But yes, this is the outcome that we hope to happen from the situation. I feel this represents my feelings very strongly, not sure of others, but change. We need change. We need to shed old ideas and bring in new. We need to see, how this affects the modern day. And I do hope that people will learn from these incidents. I know I certainly have learned. I'm not going to take situations so lightly anymore just because it inconveniences me. And I hope other people do the same, shed the old, bring on the new, not shed the new. No, but in all essence, death means to transform and to change and hopefully from what was worse to better. And with anything, if we can work together as a human race or even as just a country right now and support each other better, I do hope that will inspire further change. So that is the 6th card. It goes over here. I'll probably have to make the last 4 cards really small. And welcome to new people who might be coming to the stream. I forgot to do that a couple times. I am doing a tarot reading called the Celtic Cross, and I am doing a reading concerning the coronavirus. And just as a little recap, we've had The Eight of Wands representing us. Six of Swords, our conflict. Chariot, our foundation. Oh, hi, Roshi! Three of Pentacles. I might have done that wrong. I forget what Three of Pentacles are immediate future. That's right. I completely forgot. But anyway, so far the cards are pretty dead on, and we just got done with our crown, which is what we hope to come out of this from this situation, and that is death, which means change and transformation. With that said, and hello to Stephen too. Welcome. I'm glad people are coming in or getting curious. Always nice to see my good friend Roshi. And after this, I will open up tarot readings to people in the chat. I will, I promise, okay? But next up in the Celtic Cross is 7, yourself. This is your self-image, how you see yourself in the present situation, or the world, as I did this as a general for the world thing. And let us see what it is. Ooh, all right, I'm going to get the image. And Roshi, you better take notes because this might come up in our in the campaign I'm making if you still plan to join it. Here we go. Page of Swords. I, of course, am not forgetting game tonight. Roshi, why do you think I'm in here? This will pass the time quicker. I'm so excited. Oh, for those that might be confused, I play D&D with my good friend Roshi. We are in quite a few campaigns together, and tonight's one of our campaigns, and we're excited to play, especially since we got a new guy. Alrighty, so this is yourself, or as I put, people in general, considering this, considering the coronavirus. So let's see here. The Page of Swords holds a signet in her embrace, her body a living cradle to protect it from harm. She has a strong sense of purpose, mirroring her attitude. The swans gather close above to shelter her with their strongly beating wings as well. They are vigilant guardians. Their watchful eyes take everything in. Their wings beat in a flurry to create an updraft that carries her through the night. She looks to the stars for guidance, following them as sailors once did. The thin radiance of those distant points of light marks the trail to follow, as they have done since ancient times for those who know how to read their intricate patterns. Their webwork of light forms an arcane map as she flies through the skies. They call to her and her companions and the winds themselves. In a rush, the winds come billowing to heed that call. She welcomes them. If those winds shift suddenly beneath her wings, she is quick to adapt. She is aware of those subtle changes and knows how to compensate for them. She beckons to you, inviting you to rid your eyes of the clouded haze of too much daylight, and to see the path that the nocturnal guardians of the sky offer. The Page of Sword embodies honesty and truthfulness. She is unafraid to scrutinize her beliefs. She looks at the balance of black and white around her without condemning, and she knows the measures of her own soul. She is unafraid of emotion, though she does not let emotions rule the decisions she makes. Logic is what dominates her the most. Her mind is agile and analytical, and she uses that to guide her sense of purpose and assess situations. She stretches her perceptions to try to make room for the new and unknown. I feel that's how a lot of people probably are seeing themselves in the situation. They like to see themselves as being someone composed. Whether or not that's true for some is another thing, but that's what the next card is going to talk about. Because we see ourselves one way, but other people might see themselves as another. But there's also some truth to it. Doctors are being very to the point, like, hey, this is the situation, this is what helps, this is what other countries have done, and this is how they're faring. And also, sometimes you gotta be blunt. Like, you just got to be blunt with people sometimes. Like, you can't do things that you want to do anymore. And I know that sucks, but this is the price we pay to hopefully have a better future tomorrow. So let's just shrink this card down. Boop. Yeah, and let me move this whole thing over. I'll have to shrink it just a little more because it is 4 cards at the end. So, checking here. Oh, we lost a person. Oh well. Next up, for terms of the Celtic Cross, is environment. This card represents the influences of those around you. It can show how others see you in this situation. Always an interesting card. 4 of Swords. Let me find it and then I'll post the picture. Alright, image. You can't really see what I'm typing. Here is the 4 of Swords. All right. Her limbs are composed in the attitude of death, but this is not that final sleep. It is just a moment of rest and recovery. Her mind floats free. She is adrift in an ether of meditation. Her eyes are closed, but she sees with another kind of vision. The sigil of an eye upon the blade she holds clasped to her chest, sees down into her heart, and out into the world around with a clarity that she strives for in this inner contemplation and self-imposed exile. She floats along with the lotuses, symbols of spiritual and mental purity. Lotuses grow from the slime and muck of a lake, purified with the water to emerge in the sunlight as lovely flowers. They are a living metaphor for a seeker of spiritual truths. The pink lotus in particular is a symbol of enlightenment. So, too, the swords that pillow her head as she meditates, as if to pierce through the fog of uncertainty and dissemble to reach a state of serenity. However, this is but a momentary rest. Her hands grip the sword tightly. She knows there are many ordeals to face still. She breathes deeply, imprints the fragrance of the lotuses in her mind. She is ready to draw the sword from the sheath and to step back into a world of strife and conflict once this respite is through, though perhaps with a much clearer mental state this time. The 4 of Swords urges you to take a moment of respite. I'm sorry, that's just funny. Close your eyes and find that still and silent place at your core where inner strength resides. Draw from that reserve in the times to come. So we're all taking a moment of respite. But I do feel that generally especially with the American populace, most people I know are being calm about the situation, which is good. And, what's really kind of interesting is that with people staying home, there's been less traffic in places like LA, and so it's been good for the air. So sometimes you gotta find silver linings to things, but in terms of this, we all see each other as, in our houses. That's pretty much how we see each other. So I feel that card represents that very well. All right. Just 2 more cards left in the Celtic Cross. And then for anybody that's still sticking around, you can get a tarot reading. All right. Next up is Hopes and Fears. This card indicates either what you hope for or fear the most in this situation. Ooh, the King of Swords. Let me show you the King. Roshi, if you're still here, this will be one of the people you will meet in the tarot cards campaign I'm making. King of Swords. All right. Oh. Like the vertical swords he holds at the ready, he is a pillar of strength and morality. He holds power over life and death. He is a warrior king, sword always drawn so that he can be prepared to spring to action should the need arise. He is a leader, riding triumphantly at the forefront of his army. He carries through with his actions, following the path of truth that the blade lights for him. He is led on by the silent wisdom of the owl. She perches, balanced, upon the very tip of his blade, and her eyes swirl with all the ancient knowledge that her kind has been imbued with by human beliefs. Mirroring the owl, he is also led by the shadowy ravens that trail at his side, like Hugin and Mugen, Odin's twin ravens, thought and memory. They fly away to seek out truths and bring their findings back to be whispered in his ear. In conjunction, they are the balance of night and day. They are the shape of clarity of the sun, and the owl is the truth that can only be heard distinctly in the velvety light of stars and moon. This is what is embodied in those avian companions. The shadows of the night descend upon his shoulders, a living mantle of purple, a color the ancient Greeks associate with royalty, and the base of the throne is etched with Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, symbolic of the blend of art and science, of the symmetry in the human body and the whole of the universe. So there is really no meaning in itself other than, yes, leadership and strength. I believe that is the hope that everybody has, is that from this we'll have better leaders, we'll have more of an idea of what to do should this happen again. And, we just hope to come out of this stronger. Come out stronger as stronger people. So I think that's what it's saying, personally, myself. There is the king. And finally, the final card, which would normally go on top there, but I'm not going to have room for it. The outcome. Another major arcana, the lovers. And no, that does not mean everybody's going to fall in love. No, it means other things. This is the final card of the Celtic Cross. So hopefully people stuck around to see the outcome. And we go all the way back to the beginning of the book. Well, not the very beginning, but Here we are, the lovers. In one of the oldest tales, there is the choice, knowledge and fulfillment of worldly senses, or the simplicity of an ever-present now. To be drawn into an embrace, to seek that union that all souls ache for and desire, to know the oneness of passion and love and revel in it. Their eyes are open, but they gaze only at each other, oblivious to the sun that goes on turning above them and the gaze of the heavens. Neither golden gem-encrusted crown of kings nor grapevine and flower-twined crown of peasants grace their brows, for the forces gathering around them make no such distinctions. Indeed, their own senses have no awareness of such either. Take this seed, he says to her, placing an acorn in her palm. Water it with the fount of your spirit and your intentions, and we shall see what grows of that, she replies. The meaning of the lovers is union, balance, energy, flow, love, desire, passion, melding of heart and mind, forming a union or marriage. Though it can be romantic in nature, it is not necessarily so. The Lovers is also about determining values and struggling with choices. The innocence embodied in the turtle doves is a contrast to the shiny red apple and the embrace of the snake, one of the oldest symbols of temptation. Likewise, the pure simplicity of the calla lily contrasts the lush and sensual complexity of a rose. So while it can be romantic in nature, in this case it is not necessarily so. The outcome from this whole situation, union, balance, melding of heart and mind, forming a union, but also, above all, determining values and struggling with choices, which we, as not just a country, but a world, are going to be doing. We're going to be struggling with a lot of choices that are going on in this world. But hopefully, with the Lovers, we will have stronger bonds. We'll have maybe even stronger allies, depending on how we help each other. And we just have to wait and see. But ultimately, it's a positive outcome. So long as things kind of stay on the right path, we will not know. Not until we get there. But that is it. That is the Celtic Cross. And, I did not mean to do that. Hopefully people enjoyed it. Or, the couple people. Yes, it does seem good so far. So long as things kind of stay on the road we're going. People don't try to rush things. People don't try to do anything drastic. We try not to kill each other. It is a positive outcome. And ultimately, tarot does not have any you're doomed cards. I mean, the Tower is a card people fear, but ultimately it's really not that bad as people make it out to be. So that is it. That is the Celtic Cross. And now, give me one moment. There we go. Let me put these cards back, and I will open this to additional tarot readings if people would like a reading. Just so you know, I'm probably not going to do more than a 3-card reading. If you want more of an in-depth reading, I can direct you to my Twitter, where I have prices up. But if you want more than a 3-card reading from me at this time, I'm going to have to ask for payment. Well, Dawn, in terms of tarot has no bad endings, not everything has an ending. This particular spread does have an ending, because it's a very in-depth spread, but other ones are very simple. You can do anything from 1 card. You can do, as the most I've ever seen anybody do is 10. I'm sure other people have others that do exceed 10, but I'm saying it's more that tarot has no bad meanings. I mean, people will see it as bad, but it's really more so as a introspective look, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's hard to explain tarot to those who really don't practice much in it. And hello, new person in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just finished one of these big readings. In fact, let me get rid of these. Where did you go? There's still one here for some reason. Let me just delete this. Yep, there we go. And now I will, as I said, I'm going to open readings to those in the chat. If you would like a tarot reading, I'm only doing up to 3 cards in here. So if you want anything above that, I can direct you to, actually, I can just do this. Sorry to be quiet. Here we go. Oh, that is very, very big. Oh god, I'm messing everything up. So hold on, people. I am sorry. There we go. I need to delete all these. Give me 1 second. A reading is very simple. All you have to do is, well, tell me what kind of spread do you want. There is just the 1 card for when you have a simple question, you know. And then there is you can go more than that. Typically a 3-card reading is past, present, and future. Like, you can ask a situation. Like, I once had a person ask me, like, oh, will I become a teacher? And we did a past, present, future reading on what led her to wanting to become a teacher and if she would become one, or if she's on the right track to becoming one, or so to say. So that is basically what it is. So yeah, basically, just, if you have a question, tell me how many cards you want, and ask me the question. Remove. And as I have said, actually here I'll I've been quiet for too long. Alright, very sorry guys. Okay, so does anyone want a reading? Just basically, if you have a question that you don't want to ask, just tell me I have a question. Think about it. Just think about it in your head, and you don't even have to ask me, and I'll do it. I've done it before, and it's driven people kind of crazy. It's kind of fun. So, and up to 3 cards. Like I said, just tell me how many cards you want, and tell me if you have a question, and I will do it. No need to be shy, it's super duper easy. Do, 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 do. otherwise, if no one really has a question, I can talk about where I've been. I haven't really done a lot of YouTube in a while because I just been too busy. And also I just kind of lost the passion for it. I only did like a couple big videos and that was cool, but I really discovered something that I hate editing. I really do not like editing very much at all. But I've been playing a lot of D&D, and I might start doing retellings of my D&D campaign with my friends because it's been a lot of fun. Kind of want to relive that magic. And I am looking to start my own campaign, which is, yes, based off of the tarot cards. So I see a new person has come in. I am offering tarot readings. Like I said, I'm just going to keep mentioning that. I am offering some tarot readings, no more than 3 cards. If you want more than 3, I am going to have to ask you to go to my Twitter and check out my prices there, and we can set up a PayPal thing. I haven't figured out how to do monetary stuff on my YouTube channel yet. More new people, so I am just, again, currently offering any tarot readings. Tarot readings galore. Up to 3 cards only. And that's about it. Let me check my... I'm just checking the time for my campaign tonight. Yes, you can ask anything. If you want examples of different spreads, I can give them to you. Again, just depends on how many cards. Like with a 1 card, you could be like, what do I need to focus on today? Or with 3 cards, there's the past, present, future, one that's used the most often. Use this one to see what events or energies in the past are affecting the present, and when the present might shape the future. Situation, problem, solution. Use this one to gain insight into a troubling situation and a possible solution. Decision, choice 1, choice 2. Or situation, what to do, what not to do. But those are just examples. You can really do anything. You can even just ask the same question and have just a more detailed answer. That's pretty much all it is in tarot. All right, you have a question? How many cards? Just 1? Do you want 2 or 3? I'll start shuffling and kind of focus and get your question. And tell me how many cards as I start shuffling. All right, 3. Okay, so this is Don's reading for everybody joining us. Don is in the chat. He's doing a 3-card reading. I'm focusing on his question as much as I can. I didn't shuffle that one too good, so one more shuffle. No, actually, I also forgot to ask, do you want the Shadowscapes deck, the one I've been using, or my Mother's deck? My Mother's deck has reverse meanings, so like if a card is upside down, it means a reverse of what that is. That one has that set up. This one does not. Okay. You're more familiar with this one, so far I'll just use this one. All right. Well, since I already shuffled this one, we're just going to use this one. So, first card. I'm actually just going to draw them first. Here is going to be a good example of whenever a card seems negative not to, as I get the cards ready. Okay? 5. So I'm getting the cards ready. I have just drawn them. Here is your first card, 5 of Pentacles. The next one is... No, it's fine. It is not too specific. Nothing is too specific. I mean, unless you're asking for lottery numbers, which they will probably say we can't do that. But that's not what I'm doing. All right. Last card. I am going to guess that this is a past, present, future. So let us see what it says to you, Dawn, about your dream of being a famous, successful director, writer for your animated stories. That is actually something I hope to do one day as well. I have ideas, it's just and I'm writing them down, it's just getting the motivation to do them. Alright, so your first card here is the 5 of Pentacles. She huddles below, curled in upon herself. Her eyes are downturned from the glory that spills out from the window made of liquid-colored light above her. Its beauty and color are reminders of her lack. She feels drab and drained by comparison. The dragon seems to trumpet exultantly, mocking her and demanding humility. Only the thorny ground embraces her. It stretches spiny tendrils towards her, and she shrinks away from it. She feels her solitude with an acute pain, not seeing the soul that hovers just at her fingertips, nor any of the other eyes watching from the shadows. She is oblivious to her surroundings, willfully blind to her external world, and ignorantly blind to her inner one as well. Her spirit cries with needs that she does not heed. Or perhaps it is that she simply does not understand what she really yearns for, so separated is she from her body and spirit signals. This is disconnect. The 5 of Pentacles is indicative of spiritual poverty, material troubles, insecurity, and hard times. There is a neglecting of the body's needs, a feeling of being ostracized and excluded, of loss. And yet salvation is not far off if you can make that connection and see past the mental and physical blockades. Even the thorny bush that she views as her only companion bears flowers. So with this being a past, present, future, something tells me you've been very doubtful of yourself with this dream. And maybe people have even put you down. And so you took that to heart, got insecure. If I'm completely wrong, do let me know, because sometimes that does happen. Or maybe even just like you're unsure if that's a good career. But in the past, there is the hope there still, as it says. Salvation is not too far off. as you see people who are not that much older than you, or were much older than you, making shows that you really liked, or from our generation. It's never too late. So that's kind of what I am getting off of this, that, in the past, you were kind of unsure of what you wanted, maybe even of what you wanted to do in life before you came to this realization that this is what you want. All right, next up is present, the Eight of Cups. And again, if I'm completely wrong, just let me know. Being doubtful of yourself does come with, though, being of your dream. And it's not that I'm saying your dream is doubtful, it's more that you don't have the confidence of, like you're just like, if you could do it. But that is just from what I was kind of picking up on. But all right, you're present, the Eight of Cups. Seeker of the seas, dive down, dive deep, plumb the sapphire waters so dark that they pulse with the nacreous gleam of black pearls. Slice through the waters, O seeker of truth. Slide with lithe body through the currents and undertows. Turn away from the sunlight of the world above that blinds with its too sharp brilliance. Like the delicate luminescence of the deep sea, there are some things that can only be seen when the eyes are enlarged with the dim, nether-lit other world. Dive down, seeker of the seas. The Eight of Cups beckons you to follow and delve within for personal discovery and answers. Turn away and disengage from the material world for the spiritual. Leave the sharp lines and edges, the harsh sounds that pierce the dry air with a clarion call. The sea's embrace is much softer and more sensual, and connected by the ripples and the flows. The water softens the assault on the senses, so that everything becomes fluid and smooth. The Eight of Cups shimmers with a distant touch of the sun's rays from above. They tumble down into the depths. The falling glimmer and shine urges you to move on to catch hold of one of them. Now is the time to let go and allow all the weariness to ripple away from you and fade into the waves. What that is saying is, like, right now is the time to discover yourself. Especially since you say you're 18, this is the perfect time to make plans upon plans. It's always good to try new things, to even just get on in there. Just put yourself out there and see what happens. You're going to make mistakes, but it's about discovery. It's about discovering what you love and what you're good at the same time. Everybody in the entertainment industry needs a backup plan. Right now, I am looking to apply to college to being a administrative assistant, something I'm pretty good at. I'm good at organizing paperwork. But basically what this card is just saying, in this time when it comes to your dream, discover what you love about it. Discover also what more you can do with it, even if necessarily it's not working on animation. And, just kind of explore on your own, I think, is basically what it's saying. Now for the next one. I know this is going to be a scary one, considering your dream. The Three of Swords, but just bear with me. Bear with the swords. Here the grand strength and beauty of a swan is brought down by betrayal. She mourns with blood tears for that wounding of the heart. She is far from a helpless creature. She will fight ferociously to defend herself or her young, and yet there is no sign of struggle. Perhaps she bared herself as a sacrifice. She stepped forth alone and laid down her defenses. What is anguish and grief that brought her down? There is grief and heartbreak in the Three of Swords. There is a feeling of loneliness, separation, and isolation. There is no one to give solace or lend a hand. Has everyone deserted in this time of greatest need? The world abandons and betrays, but turning its back on the destruction of beauty and rending of a fragile emotional state. Overcome the pain, the weeping of the heart is perhaps a necessary cleansing. Let that torment drain away, be purified of the black blood, and then lift up white wings to dance the sky once again. Like I said, I know it seems negative, but it is also talking of perseverance through tough times. It is a card that means loneliness and betrayal, isolation, but that could mean many things. You might, in the near future, when it comes to your dream, you might isolate yourself from people. You may get betrayed by somebody. Like maybe somebody, you don't know. But the entertainment industry is very much, it is, a tank of sharks. There's going to be things you're going to have to persevere through. I'm going to go ahead and do this for you. I'm going to draw the next card in the deck just to see what it says. 10 of Wands. Overextending, taking on far too much, burdened with overwhelming responsibility, being held accountable, doing things the hard way. Perhaps those little beings who live among her branches do not need the constant watchfulness and nourishment that she believes must be her duty. And yet it is given freely, the burden is taken on willingly, and she knows that she has the strength within to bear it and flourish. For this dream, I am thinking the cards are going to tell you that, of course, from what I can understand here is that do not doubt yourself. Take the time to explore things, to explore your creativity and maybe even other outlooks. Be wary and be prepared for the harshness of the entertainment world, but also do not bear everything on your own. Find a circle of trust, find people you love working with, and whether or not you become famous from it or successful, that is up to you. That is up to also the audience at the time. So you just kind of have to believe in yourself, give it your all, but for if things don't go your way, don't get sucked into that. And that is, I think, is what they are saying, that it's a hard road to go onto. Entertainment always is. There's always going to be people that tell you no. But all you need is that one yes. That is all you need in entertainment, is the one yes. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helped and wasn't too depressing for you. But as I said, tarot is all about guiding. Not telling you exactly what is or isn't going to happen. It's about guiding you. Alright, is there anybody else watching that wants a tarot reading before I shut down the stream? You'll have to say it in the chat. Otherwise, if you want a more private reading, I have here these here prices. If you want a more private reading, I can do this for anybody at any time. Contact me on Twitter. Maybe contact me here and I can direct you to Twitter. My Twitter is Heather Feathersong or at Heather18 because I can't change my original one for some reason. But otherwise, if anybody else wants a tarot reading, I'm going to go ahead and check anybody else out. Drink some water. Ugh. Get rid of these here cards. Oh, thank you. It's been a long time since I've made any videos. I guess I'm also open to any questions, and if everybody has any questions. Like, I don't really know if I want to do more pony stuff. I really don't know. Or like video. I had ideas at the time, and I'm kind of thinking about it. I am planning on, I have original songs coming out, hopefully. I don't know when. I have an original song I'm trying to get made. I do have a thing I want to do, which is retelling of the Dungeons and Dragons campaign I'm in, because just some of the things that happen are so funny, so ridiculous. And also anything that goes on in our other campaigns. I'm in a superhero one, and I'm making one. It's taken me a bit of a time to get this campaign up and running. You can also see me actually. Eventually, it's gonna be a long time, but I'm in a not podcast. Well, the person who made my my persona here, technically the first person to make the design of it was Yoko Kanawa on DeviantArt. I paid for a commission of my pony, and they made a design for the Equestria girl. And then I found somebody who is doing concept art for me for a show I'm making. And he made that into this human. Yes, I am in a superhero campaign with some friends. And I'm playing, I might as well show you. I am playing the superhero one is a system called Masks. And I just need to, I'm not on this computer, so I can't really show it unless I go to DeviantArt. Hold on one second. I'm trying to find it. It's really hard finding her. Where'd she go? Oh, I can just use this one. There we go. Okay, hold on one second. Thank you. Okay, here they are. These are all our characters for this superhero campaign. We got Node, who's being played by my friend Kvox. Princess Deadpool, aka Auto Knight 01, is Riptide. Roshi, who was in here earlier, is Shadow Slam. And I am this cute little redhead, Ariel. I have wind powers. Like, she's really, really strong wind powers, too. And my good friend Kvox, he made all these icons. He's really good at making icons for D&D campaigns for App Roll 20. But the person who ended up making this human version, he doesn't really have a Tumblr or anything. I found him, believe it or not, I found him on that old site Gaia Online. I saw his work, I liked his work. He made my concept characters for me, and I asked him, like, hey, can you make like a human version of this person here? And he did. So that's pretty much it. I wish I knew if he had anything that I could, like, you know, plug him for, because he does really good work for really, really cheap. Well, not really cheap, but decently priced. I am hoping to do more live streams like this again. So, and the next time I'm going to definitely promote it more to try to get more of an audience. We'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on. But I might make more videos. It really just depends on if I can get myself to edit. Okay, if there's nobody else who is watching that wants a tarot reading or anything, that's alright. Hopefully next time. But I think I am going to be shutting down here pretty soon. I'll give it a little bit, see if anybody else answers anything. Otherwise, I'll probably head out. Because it's been a bit of a time. Wow, an hour and 32 minutes. And I can only really do this on my desktop, which is at my technical office. So, yeah. Alright, I think I'm gonna head out. This has been fun. You know, I've just been so bored during all this. And so, I hope to do more stuff. I'll think about doing more videos. And thank you so much. Thank you for anybody who came in to watch, and thank you to anybody who comes back and watch this. Sorry if I'm boring. I might get some music up. I'll try to organize things a little better. This is kind of an experiment. So, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day, and stay safe. Stay indoors for as much as you can, just until we can get all healthy again and not worry about old people dying if we sneeze near them. Alrighty. Thank you. Have a good one.